Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we'll be talking about Star Wars The Bad Batch. So, as of me recording this, The Bad Batch is on its 5th episode, if I'm not mistaken. So I kind of want to make a quick review and kind of like a retrospective on what we've seen so far. So far, the episodes have been pretty good, but again, they do feel like filler at the moment. I know they introduce small stuff here and there and make us, kind of like get to know these characters. Not saying that they're, bad episodes at all. They're very entertaining. But after today's episode, it definitely felt like another sidetrack kind of episode. They had to do a rescue mission, I guess you would say. But before we kind of talk about today's episode, like I said, I'm gonna do a retrospective of what's happened so far. And obviously the biggest thing to talk about is episode 1. It was over an hour long. It had that amazing opening scene that showcased, the beginning of Order 66, and we saw it through Caleb Doom's, perspective, which is a character from Rebels that we all grew to love. It's cool to see where he was at when they executed Order 66. And that was pretty hype. And then everything else during the episode was pretty cool as well. I know we're now following the Bad Batch, so it's cool to see what they've been doing and I guess how everything's affected them specifically, since they don't really, I guess, seem to be affected by the inhibitor chip, at least not all of them. We do know that later on Echo was the one who kind of was fighting against it, right, the most. At the moment now, it looks like, potentially Wrecker might be dealing with it, since he hit his head in one of the earlier episodes. Before episode 5, of course, and he keeps kind of like talking about how his head keeps hurting. But before we move on to anything, ahead of episode 1, we can stick with it. And definitely a good episode. I mean, they showcased, what they can do by themselves, when Tarkin kind of like, brought out some new type of like battle mech. This could be the Death Trooper Mark 1 versions, I guess. But definitely a good episode 1. It kind of like set the tone for what the series might be. They're obviously on the run. They have an inside man in a way tracking them down, so it's like a villain that knows them best, right, and is best equipped to take them down. Then after meeting Omega, we have a new character. She's very likable at the moment. I liked her from the beginning, but of course, it's like they introduced her and she's meant to definitely be someone special. So far she's been showing signs that she either has everybody's abilities or might be force sensitive herself. Don't know what to decide to do in the end. It'd be cool to have a force sensitive clone. We've always thought about that as well, and then maybe she could be the first one. But overall, I think she's definitely going to be very important. So far in every episode, it's been a lot of like, getting by, trying to avoid the newly formed empire. Episode 2 was when they met up with that other clone that deserted. Then episode 3 was another kind of like basic, like, oh, our ship needs refueling, so let's land. They did that a lot in Mandalorian, which I kind of didn't like. Hopefully episode 6 is a lot better, now that they actually have the intel they need. Overall, really, just the most important parts are pretty much everything with Omega, because they keep kind of pushing that she has something special, not only does she have smart intuition, but she definitely, can feel how people are feeling and stuff like that. So, it's very heavy hinted. Last episode was definitely a lot more action-packed, when they met up with Fennec and she was kind of hunting down Omega. We still don't know who is the one who hired her, but, if it isn't Boba, then we're not sure who it could be. But I guess, so far, as of me, talking about this, there's not a lot we can talk about in regards to just how much everybody's growing. Things to keep in mind are obviously, the Empire is, and what's his name? Not Echo. I think I keep saying Echo. The sniper one, Deadshot or whatever. He's after them. He has a fully activated inhibitor chip, but there's a few hints that he might be missing his old teammates. Like last time after they finished the mission, he was in the quarters and he was kind of thinking back like, man, these aren't the people that I grew up with. But other than that, you know, obviously there's that threat looming. There's, you know, obviously Hunter is kind of growing attachments to Omega, you know, like a father figure. Wrecker, like I said, has that that hit to his head that he keeps complaining about. So who knows if maybe he'll eventually turn, you know, to the dark side, I guess you would say. And then the other two characters are just there, you know, to help. I mean, like I said, right now I think the biggest thing is somebody is after Omega. And in the recent episode, as of me recording this, episode 5, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that they're doing to make Omega part of the group, as well as, you know, push a little bit more the story and the relationship. I mean, you know, now, for example, they finally gave her a comm link. She didn't really use it too much in the episode, but I think this is good because after episode 4, where she got separated and lost, you know, it's good to know where she is, have communication. You know, they gave her a comm link, they gave her rules to follow, so I guess that's good. You know, we were introduced to a new character called Sid. I was like, oh, Sid from Final Fantasy? Final Fantasy? But no, you know, it's kind of like the same kind of character. You know, she kind of like, you know, gives people bounties and information, so I guess, you know, she might be someone we could, you know, we'll see in the future. But really it's just all about, you know, the Bad Batch and Omega. I mean, like I said, they keep trying to push that Omega has something special. She has intuition, I guess you would say. I mean, she knew that Sid was the one, you know, they were looking for. You know, it's like, how would she know that? But of course then, you know, Sid, in order to give them the information they were looking for, tasked them with like a rescue mission, which was pretty much filler. You know, once they say that, you're like, oh my god, filler. Although we got reintroduced to the Slavers, which is definitely a good throwback, you know, a good little common enemy. Now that, you know, the Empire is taking over, the Slavers probably can do more, you know. And again, I mean, what other thing can I mention? You know, obviously there's, yeah, Wrecker's chip that he, you know, got from the ship landing the other episode. That definitely might affect him, but otherwise, who else can be a potential threat? I mean, I know now they're kind of hinting at Jabba. I don't know if there's anything else they might do. I know, you know, they hinted Jabba's right-hand man, so could he be planning anything else, or was this just for the specific mission that happened in this episode? I mean, you know, with Omega with us, there's always, you know, a lot of extra danger. I mean, you know, heck, when the Slavers captured the Bad Batch and they went to the ship and Omega was in it, you know, I'm surprised that there was a convenient hatch for her to escape, you know. But I mean, that really pushed Omega's role in this whole thing. I mean, she was very stealthy. You know, she could be like the odd man out. You know, she could be like the sixth member that no one knows about, and she could be a lot better at infiltrating and stuff because she's just a kid. But you know, other than that, I mean, it's crazy that how well she can sneak around. I mean, in the episode, she was sneaking around pretty well, but she almost got found out by a falling rock, which I feel like people shouldn't be suspicious of that. That should just be like a regular thing. Like, oh yeah, we're in the middle of like ruins. Of course, a rock just fell. It was probably the wind. But I mean, they found her. So then after that, there was a pretty good battle. With, you know, she released the Rancor. And this Rancor, I mean, do you guys think, because it might be the one, you know, it was the one that Jabba was looking for, is this the Rancor from episode 6 that Luke kills? I mean, you know, that, for some reason that's what I thought when I saw it, because it was a young baby Rancor. But you know, then after that, you know, they had the overall battle and it was pretty good. Everybody was fighting, doing their thing. Heck, even the animals were fighting, and it was pretty brutal. The Rancor against that like giant flying lizard, I mean, that was pretty brutal. And then Wrecker went on to fight the Rancor itself for, you know, to show dominance. So, I mean, I don't know. I think, you know, either, you know, it was revealed that Muchi was actually the Rancor, not the girl. So, I mean, I don't know. They made friends with the Rancor in the end, but like, still, is Muchi gonna be the Rancor that is killed by Luke? You know, that'd be kind of sad. But hey, what else can we do? Either way, after everything, they were able to get the information. You know, they brought back the Rancor, and you know, Jabba's right-hand man, he came in, collected it, and everything seemed fine. You know, we got our information, but it looks like Sid I still don't know if we can trust her. You know, we don't know if she's friend or foe. She made that ominous comment at the very end, like, oh, you guys are very valuable. So, you know, what else can we, you know, how much more valuable can you be? So who knows if she'll betray us for money. But, I mean, at least that's pretty much what happened in today's episode. You know, the last few episodes have been pretty action-packed with, you know, them trying to, you know, refuel and then being tracked by a bounty hunter. And then the episode before that, they were, you know, stranded on a desert planet, I guess. Or deserted planet. And then the episode before that, even, you know, when they were trying to get information on how to leave. And I think they mentioned Rex, right? When are we going to see Rex? Who knows? But overall, I think it's a very good show. Definitely excited. You know, every time a new episode comes along, I usually watch it while I'm at work. That way I can pass the time. But, you know, hopefully we do get a few better episodes from here on out, you know. Not complaining. They've been really good so far. But, you know, I definitely want more story-heavy stuff, you know. But I still think it's a pretty good show. Definitely something to hold me over until we get anything new for Star Wars. I mean, I pretty much watched all of Clone Wars, all of Rebels. I even watched Resistance, which is pretty good. And now we're watching this, obviously. And who knows when we'll get more news on Obi-Wan or Ahsoka. But hey, with that being said, thank you for watching. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss out on anything else that I upload. And until next time, bye.